corruption fight. I have taken the boldest initiative since independence. That's a pretty bold claim by the president. President Akufo-Addo has defended his government's anti-corruption record, saying some of the initiatives taken are the strongest anti-corruption efforts since Ghana's independence. Speaking at the 2023 Ghana Bar Conference at the University of Cape Coast on Monday, the 11th of September, President Akufo-Addo says he has not shielded any of his appointees accused of any wrongdoing. I accepted the invitation to speak here in order to take advantage of this occasion to place once again my government's record on corruption for public scrutiny. It will show that my government has undertaken, arguably, the boldest initiatives since our nation attained independence nearly 66 years ago to reform and strengthen the capacity of our institutions to tackle corruption in the public sector. Larry.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what you think, I think it's a pretty bold claim.
Yes.
For the president to say that he's taking probably, arguably, the boldest initiatives against corruption.
Yeah.
What's your perspective?
Why do you think it's bold?
There's been a lot of things that have happened in the last 6 years where people have been accused of corruption, and we haven't really seen much in terms of prosecutions, except or maybe slap on the wrist kind of action. I don't know what you think.
Were there even slaps on the wrist?
Oh,
There weren't. Let's be blunt.
Okay, be blunt. Feel free and be blunt.
There weren't any slap on the wrist.
Not even a slap on the wrist?
No, they were told that, listen, I know that at the end of this you will be exonerated. We have Cecilia Dapa to deal with.
That's the most recent one.
Yes. For a president to issue that kind of statement and said that, Sisi, Sisi, who they call on song, I know, sir, these guys are investigating you, and that when it comes, you will be exonerated. I believe in your integrity. That statement was whatever that, I'm having difficulty getting the right words for the president. But you see, we've been treated to too much English language, sloganeering. Okay, there's a pastor in Kumasi who was recently talking about how Ghanaians have been treated to a lot of English since Akufo-Addo came. And then after...
the Christ Apostle. I think it's the Christ Apostle.
And so we are...
Sometimes those comments are also made by people who don't understand English much.
They don't understand the English.
And some of them to have their own interests.
What?
Oh, no, listen.
Fair enough.
Probably is not
Fair
being
enough.
fulfilled.
No, the world is driven by interest.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes. So,
but we are talking about governance here. We are talking about governance here. See, the president's biggest challenge, and I have spoken to friends of his, family members of his, and people who have known him, acquaintances, have known him over the years. And they will tell you that his biggest weakness is loyalty.
Who?
Akufo-Addo's biggest weakness is loyalty.
How do you mean?
And he puts loyalty over a lot of things.
But loyalty, has
He
a big
puts
role to
loyalty
play.
over competence, loyalty over, and to a point where the man feels that, listen, even if he's eating, and then you tell him that, Mr. President, that thing in your mouth, I like it too. He could just remove it and give it to you. You get it? Okay. That is one of his biggest challenges. And he's brought that into governance, where he's even having difficulty in sacking people when they fall below expectation. He's had difficulty reshuffling. In the history of this country, we've had ministers being at post for They are going to be at post for 8 years. Several times things have been thrown at us that, listen, there's going to be a reshuffle. There's going to be a reshuffle. But to tickle us, then he will just move a deputy minister from here and then replace him with another deputy. So then it's like more like a musical chair sort of thing. We have not had any effective system, of tackling corruption. Why did his first special prosecutor resign? Amidu. Before he resigned, we are all privy to the statement that he issued. Talking about family and friends and how, Ghana's minerals were going to be hijacked by the president's family members and all that.
Mother serpent.
Thank you. Do you understand? So he can't be the man, making the bold statement that you talked about, you mentioned. He's falling below expectation. First, stricken by his own loyalty, commitment to loyalty.
Elvis,
you didn't allow me to finish.
Okay.
Carry on.
Is valuing loyalty such a bad thing? I mean, for me, I think loyalty is a big deal.
It's a big deal, especially in politics. In politics, everything is about loyalty. Without your loyalty in politics, you can't succeed in politics. So loyalty is key. You see, the president's statement is valid, right, depending upon the perspective you are looking at it from.
Okay.
He is looking at it from the fact that, and he mentioned it and stated them, that when he came to office, he has taken steps that meant that he's committed to corruption, a fight, which is true.
Okay, such as?
If you look at the budgets for anti-corruption institutions, they have gone up significantly under his tenure. So he is under the impression that I have resourced them to do their job, so I've done my job. The RTI law was passed under his regime. So you feel like a law that will give Ghanaians power to demand information from state institutions.
It happened under Mahama.
No, RTI was passed under. If I am able to ensure that that law is passed, that gives every Ghanaian the power to demand information for state institutions. That's a huge way of fighting corruption. So if it happened under my tenure, then that is really great job.
But people are still arguing that there are challenges with the RTI.
No, even with that, the law has to come first before you talk about implementation.
All right,
Then he talks about the fact that it is his regime that set up the office of the special prosecutor, which is a fact, which is also to fight corruption. So if he has really increased the budgets for anti-corruption institutions significantly, some of them over 100%, increment in their budget. And he's able to put up something like OSP, something like this. Then really the steps have been taken to fight the corruption. So when he makes that statement, he's making it from the point of view from these issues. See, but his problem is that the public's expectation of corruption fight
and the perception
is not necessarily about the resources you have provided for them. The public perception is that we want to see the people who are stealing from the state dealt with drastically. And the truth of the matter is that that public expectation of drastic action against people who are pilfering from the state really has not been met. So you see, he is making the point from the point of view that I have done ABCD for the institutions to work. But the results that are coming from the institutions are below expectation. So you see, when you don't look at it from these two perspectives, you will say that, he's playing with the words. But truth is, if a president comes and resources institutions to do their job and create other institutions that will help in the fight, he has done a lot there. But the question is, are these institutions delivering the results that we are expecting? The office of special prosecutor he's talked about. Amidu was sworn into office on February 23, 2018. So the office of special prosecutor is over 5 years in existence. The question is, what and what successful prosecutions can the public point to that the office of special prosecutor, which you created to do this, what is the outcome of that office? The truth of the matter is, as we speak, apart from that Mahama Yarga case that Amidu said he go, and later they lost the case. OSP has not been successful in a single prosecution. So clearly you have created the institution, resourced it to do its job, but the output of the institution does not merit the public expectation. Yeah. And I think this is where the public reacts and says, you are not fighting corruption because the result we are expecting, we are not getting. But he is also coming from the perspective that my duty is to resource the institutions. My duty is to create the institutions that will fight the canker. If I have done those things, then I have done my part. The institutions are supposed to work. But the public is not much interested about the present resourcing and creating. The public expectation is that those who are accused of stealing from us, the law will deal with them so fast that if today we are talking, we could have said OSP has completed maybe 10 or 15 cases in 5 years. Maybe they succeeded in half of the cases, money retrieved, people sent to jail. Maybe 5 of the cases, they've lost it. Maybe 5 of the cases are still ongoing. But then you can't get this from the Office of Special Prosecutor. If you look at the way high-profile cases are lasting in the court, it makes public to lose confidence in the system. Because there will be this fanfare of we have filed a case against this person based on accusation A, B, C, D. Then the case stays in court 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. There is no conclusion to the case. That is not what the public expect. The public believe that if you are able to file charges against somebody, the case should be able to be concluded for us to know whether the person is guilty or not. Like it appears that a lot of the cases...
We even forget sometimes that there's a case in court.
Thank you. A lot of the cases seems to be hanging in the court. Look at the way how NAM1 case was dealt with. He has been to court for about 37 times. Then the AG comes and says, all the charges we have dropped. We have filed 2 charges. We are starting the prosecution. Okuli has been in court for 6 years. Then all of a sudden they say, oh, we change the judge. And then another judge rules that the entire processes, he doesn't want it. He wants to start his own case. Then all of a sudden we hear that judge has been transferred. If these things are happening
it's not good.
In the court process, then the public expectation of corruption fight is not being met. So then they will tell you that they are not satisfied with your corruption fight. It's not because you have not done your part by retooling the institutions, by creating what you do. But we are looking at the end result of what the institutions are doing.
Larry, a quick bite on this before we go to the next topic.
You know. He mentioned that there was budget, increment, or let's say more funds.
Allocation of more funds.
But among the reasons why Amidu left that office was that office, after the fanfare in setting it up, was not resourced.
Yes.
Which turned out to be false.
No, I'm coming. No, it didn't.
Monies were given to him. He is the one who was not using the money.
Because I remember that issue came out.
No, wait.
Because it was about 180 something.
Wait, Davis. See, even when Dummy, so did I say Dummy? Ejabe, Kisi, when Kisi took over, Kisi also had similar issues about money, resource allocation, and so on. And that giving clearance for people to be employed, investigators to be brought into that office, and so on. So he also had issues to a point where I recall some presidential staffers started attacking him on various social media platforms and so on. You get it? I mean, the president, beyond the rhetoric, he has not done anything as far as the fight against corruption is concerned.
No, but what about increasing budgets for people like,
you see, you can increase the budget.
Yes.
I mean, management can pay you whatever they feel that listen. They can pay you so much. But the money, delivery is it. Input, output. You understand? So the money could be given, but money, according to him, has been given. But I have had some of these institutions also complaining that they don't have the resources, both material and then human.
So they claim that the money has been given. Where is the money?
Where is the Sikano one here? The money has
been given, but the people still feel that it's not up to
what is required.
Is it Akufo-Addo
for
is betting
delivery.
that when I came to office, maybe Shrag is being given 50 million.
Yeah.
But I have increased to 100 million.
Yeah.
But Shrag will say, I need like 200 million. Like Kisi Casey said. Kisi presented a budget that was over 1 billion
Okay.
to government.
Yeah.
That is what you need
And
to put in place certain. The government say, a country that, where if we give OSP 1 billion,
Yeah.
what about the other institutions? Government can't afford to give you 1 billion.
Okay.
But this is we can give. But Kisi is of the view that what you are giving me, even though it's substantial,
Yeah.
but
It still can't do
this is the point.
what
So
I need it
there's
to
a difference between that the money has not been given.
Okay.
It's been given, but it's about expectation.
Okay.
If Kisi is looking for 1 billion and maybe it's been given 200 million,
Yeah.
obviously you will say that it's not enough. But
Okay.
that's not the money has not gone.
Quickly, what is normally announced
Yeah.
during budget reading is not what is actually given
Delivered in the end,
delivered
at the
in
end of
the end, though. Because then you talk to some of these lead, institutional heads, and they tell you that, boss, I haven't gotten that kind of money, and if I had it, I would have done this, I would have done this. I applied for this, and it didn't come.
Okay.